Welcome everyone to the channel. How you guys doing? Doing well. So today I'm doing a update video. I released a video of this tank, this premium pack that came out. Where's my mouse? The pre-order M1 KVT. So I did make some mistakes, kind of. Really, not really. I just didn't understand the article. So I went back and I read the article. Did some research on the tank, and it isn't actually a tank that was taken by any country. I'm going to read through this article, okay, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. One of the scenarios of the US Army exercise called the Kosovian invasion, a scenario of an invasion of a fictional Russian bloc country of Kosovo, into the southern part of the continental United States. Armed forces of the People's Democratic Republic of Kosovo are equipped with armored vehicles modified by the USSR, manufactured by the USSR, Russia, and are intimately those vehicles, inmated those vehicles, the so-called visual mods. The vis means visual mods are used friendly vehicles that have been visually modified to represent opposite forces vehicles. One of the most popular and well-known visual mod designs is the M1 Abrams KVT, the Kosovian variant tank. It is this tank that will appear in the upcoming War Thunder Major update. So let's take a closer look at this piece of awesomeness. So basically, Gaijin has got a stance of no paper tanks. So what they basically, sorry guys, the wrong button. So what they basically did was the US had a scenario of invading Eastern Bloc, okay? So they took some Abrams and gave them a different paint job, welded fuel tanks to represent T-55s at the back, and that Russian word apparently means boat. I had a Russian viewer that kept sending me the message, boat, boat, and I didn't know why, but now I realize. Thanks for messaging. And they tried to make it look like Russian tanks. In a way, it looks pretty cool, but in a way, I'm against this type of thing. Because this is 10-1 was a once-off thing. Okay, but let's get back to the point. So they came up with this scenario. They get to invade a fictional country, and I'm sure this is actually related to Kosovo, if I pronounce the name right, and I think about countries, and we had the Kosovo crisis. So, and the Kosovo is also the Democratic Republic of Kosovo or something like that. Okay, so they came up with a scenario. They will invade through Kostovia, let's just say Kosovo. This was the exercise. So they took some Abrams, tried to dress them up in other uniforms, and had a military exercise trying to replicate T-55s, T-62s, T-72s, and what they did to these tanks, like I say, they added the fuel tanks on it. They put an IR searchlight on the gun, which can be seen, and they put some ERA on the front mantlet. Not a lot, which my opinion will not really help anything. And they gave it a funny dozer blade. That's basically it. And they do say further in the article Under the guise of the Soviet tanks, it is the excellent M1 Abrams MBT, one of the best tanks in its rank. Great frontal protection of the turret, good frontal protection of the hull, high mobility and thermal imaging devices in the gunner's sight, as well as an excellent stabilized gun, all-purpose types of round, including two variants of APFSDS. KV2 version also has a premium status. Now, including two variants. I don't know what that means. Article doesn't really go into detail about what variants those are, what they can do. I don't know if it's some Russian APFSDS route that they modified to fit in this tank. I don't know. And I do believe this is the first Abrams. The M1 is the 105mm gun. Not too sure. So my thoughts, this is going to really kind of maybe that I'm thinking about it. This could come to War Thunder because literally the tank was built. It was a exercise, so they tried to dolly up the tank a bit, give it a nice dress. So technically it did exist, even if it was only for that month that the training exercise, or that week that the training exercise was on the go. So it could come into the game. Is it going to be any different? Was the other questions I was on. I can't tell you. Depending on what these experiment APFSDS's ammo rounds are, depends on you guys. But my thoughts is the ERA over there won't help you much, because you still got this whole piece here that you're vulnerable and your sides. I mean, if you go look at it, E72, how packed with ERA that thing is. So yeah, without the side skirts, doesn't mean much to you. You've got thermals, so why do you need an IR searchlight? It doesn't. But for authentication, this is quite nice. Yeah. So the tank did exist. It was just for a exercise that the Americans had on a fictional invasion. But I'm absolutely sure that this article and this exercise that they did is basically a scenario where the NATO and the US will invade through Kosovo into Eastern Bloc countries. So that's what they were practicing. I couldn't find any information on about this tank really. Nothing. I've been looking, tried to find something. I couldn't find anything. So this 10th one was just a once-off thing that they did for a training exercise, and then stripped the unnecessary components down and sent it back to the battalion it came from. So yeah, guys, that's the article. Read that. I hope that answers a lot of questions. If you're a collector like me, it's something nice to have, because I don't think this thing will stay permanently on the Gaijin store. If, like me, you're not a huge Abrams fan, don't get me wrong by me stating that, then it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna go check it out on the store, but I won't buy it, because just for the simple fact, my opinion, this is going to play exactly as the Tech Tree variant. So I can't see any difference, and the extra features on it that they are trying to sell is not going to make any difference. I would have rather had this as a crafted event vehicle than a store pack. That's my opinion. That would have been better. But like I said, it's my opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinions, but let me know in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And well, and I'll see you tonight in the stream later. I will advertise it later. So thanks so much. Keep well. See you guys soon. Bye.